Imagine a world where every setback, every failure, and every struggle you face is not the end of your story, but rather the beginning of something greater. A world where you don't have to rely on your own strength, but trust in a power far greater than any challenge you could encounter. A world where your mistakes and setbacks become stepping stones to your greatest victories. In life, we all face moments of doubt, uncertainty, and hardship. There are times when it feels like we've reached the end of the road, when our strength is gone, and when we wonder if we'll ever make it through. But here's the powerful truth: you are never alone. God has promised that He will never fail you. His love, His presence, and His strength are unshakable. Even when everything around you seems to fall apart, He is right there, working in the background, turning every trial into a victory. In this moment, I want to remind you that no matter what you're going through, there is hope. The story is not over. You are not defeated. And most importantly, God will never fail you. His timing, His plan, and His purpose for your life are perfect. Even when things don't go the way you expect or hope, know that His hand is guiding you towards something better. So if you're facing challenges, feeling weary, or wondering if you can go on, I encourage you to stay with me, because today we're going to explore how God's promise never fails and how He is using every moment of your life to shape you into something greater than you can imagine. You are stronger than you think, and with God by your side, you will rise above every challenge that comes your way. Keep believing, keep trusting, because God will never fail you. Let's dive into this journey together. Life has a way of breaking us down, challenging our strength and spirit. Whether it's a personal loss, a failure, or a sudden change, these moments can leave us feeling shattered, uncertain, and lost. We question where things went wrong and wonder if we'll ever feel whole again. But in these moments of brokenness, there's a profound truth we must remember. God is always holding the pieces of our lives, even when we cannot see it. God's presence isn't always visible, and His work often goes unnoticed, but it is steady and unshakable. When life breaks us down, we don't have to worry about the pieces scattering, because God is there, gently gathering what is lost and restoring what seems beyond repair. Every hurt, every moment of pain is being used in ways we don't always understand, but the outcome will always be greater than what we initially thought possible. While we may feel like we've reached the end of ourselves, God sees the whole picture. He knows where the pieces fit, even when we don't. This divine restoration isn't always quick. It doesn't always happen overnight. But just because we can't see the process doesn't mean it's not happening. In fact, it's often in the times when we feel most broken that God is working the most deeply, pulling us closer to the person we are meant to be. Sometimes the cracks we see in ourselves are just openings for more light and grace to flow in. When life breaks us, God doesn't abandon us. He gathers us, heals us, and makes us stronger than we were before. There is beauty in brokenness, even if it's hard to see at first. We are not defined by our brokenness, but by the strength God gives us to rise again. When life tests our limits and leaves us feeling defeated, it's essential to remember that we are never beyond repair. With God, there is always the opportunity for renewal, for healing, and for becoming even more than we were before the struggle. When you feel broken, don't believe the lie that you're too far gone. Don't believe the lie that you can't be fixed. God is holding every piece, and when the time is right, He will put them all back together more beautifully than before. Even in our brokenness, we are not failures. We are becoming the people God has destined us to be. There are times in life when God feels distant. We pray, we seek, and we long for answers, but all we hear is silence. It's in these moments that it can be easy to believe that God has abandoned us or that He isn't listening to our cries. But the truth is, God's silence does not mean His absence. Just because we don't feel His presence in the way we expect doesn't mean He's not there. In fact, His silence is often the space in which He is working the most. Sometimes the silence is a part of God's plan to teach us to trust Him more fully. When He's not giving us immediate answers, He's giving us the opportunity to grow in our faith. He's showing us that His timing, not ours, is perfect. We might not see it in the moment, but in the silence, He's preparing us for what's next, teaching us patience, resilience, and trust. It's in this quiet space where we often have the chance to reflect, renew, and deepen our relationship with God. Instead of rushing to answers, we learn to sit with Him and just be. Think of a child waiting for their parent to respond. The parent may be silent, but that doesn't mean they're not present or not watching over the child. The silence is the time when the child is growing, learning, and developing in ways they may not yet understand. In the same way, God may not always speak right away, but He's watching, guiding, and leading us through every moment. It's also important to remember that God's silence doesn't mean He's forgotten about us. He knows our hearts, our struggles, and our needs far better than we do. Sometimes the silence is God's way of letting us know that we are exactly where we need to be. He's never late and never absent. He's just working in ways we can't always comprehend. What feels like silence is simply the stillness before the breakthrough, the quiet before the storm passes. In those moments of feeling unheard, remind yourself that God is not distant. He's just working in the quiet. Trust that His silence is a part of His perfect plan for your life. Even when you can't see it, He's right there beside you, guiding you, preparing you, and holding you close. When the time is right, His voice will return, and it will be clearer and more powerful than ever before. Until then, trust in His presence, even when the silence feels overwhelming. When people walk away from us, whether through betrayal, disappointment, or distance, it can feel like the ground has been pulled from beneath our feet. We may feel abandoned, rejected, or as though we're not enough. These moments can leave deep scars, and it can be hard to trust again, especially when it seems like the people we've leaned on have turned their backs. But in the midst of this hurt, there's a powerful truth to hold on to. God will never leave you. While human relationships are fragile and imperfect, God's love is constant and unwavering. Unlike people who may disappoint us, God is always present even when everyone else seems to walk away. His commitment to you is unshakable. He is a friend who never abandons, a protector who never falters, and a father who never turns his back. No matter what you face, God is by your side, holding you through the loneliness, the pain, and the uncertainty. When we experience abandonment or rejection, it can be easy to equate that with God's abandonment. But the reality is that God's presence doesn't depend on the people around us. He is not moved by the circumstances or actions of others. Even when you feel isolated, God is near. His love is not conditional on your social circles or your relationships with others. His love is constant, a love that never fails, no matter how many times others may let you down. In those moments of solitude or hurt, it's important to remind yourself that God's love doesn't fluctuate like human affection does. People may walk away, but God stays. His arms are always open, waiting to hold you in your weakest moments, ready to reassure you that you are loved, valued, and cherished. His presence brings comfort that no human relationship can provide. Even if the world seems to turn away, God's love is everlasting. He's the constant in the midst of change. When life feels like a series of goodbyes, or when you feel alone in your struggle, remember that God is your forever companion. No person can take that away from you. No situation can erase the fact that you are always loved by Him. He is with you in every season, in every circumstance, and through every trial. Hold on to that truth, because no matter who walks away, God will always stay. There will come moments in life when you feel like you've reached your limit. You'll feel exhausted, overwhelmed, and maybe even broken. You might look around and wonder how you're supposed to keep going when your strength is gone. The good news is that you don't have to rely solely on your own strength. When your energy fades, God's power remains. While human strength can fail and falter, God's strength never does. You were never meant to carry the weight of life's challenges on your own. The burdens that seem too heavy for you are never too heavy for God. The trials that seem insurmountable to you are not beyond His ability to overcome. When you reach the end of your rope, that is when God's strength becomes most evident. It's in your weakest moments that His power shines the brightest, lifting you up when you cannot stand on your own. When you feel like giving up, it's God's strength that pushes you to keep going, even when it feels impossible. It's easy to believe that we need to do everything ourselves, to be strong for everyone else and never show weakness. But the truth is, the greatest strength comes from acknowledging our need for God. It's in surrendering our weaknesses to Him that we experience His true power. His strength is made perfect in our weakness, meaning that the very places where we feel inadequate become the places where His grace and power are most evident. In those moments of vulnerability, God meets us with the strength we need to keep moving forward. God doesn't just offer strength in small amounts. He provides it abundantly with no limits. When you feel like you've run out of energy, remember that God's power is unlimited. He doesn't grow tired or weary. You can draw from His strength, rest in His presence, and find new energy and purpose in His will. It's not about being invincible. It's about recognizing that the one who is invincible is on your side. In life's toughest battles, when you feel like you can't go on, remember that God's strength will never fail you. When you can no longer carry the load, He will carry you. His power will enable you to do things you never thought possible, to persevere when all hope seems lost. You are never alone in your struggles, for God's strength is always there, lifting you higher. God's timing can often be one of the hardest aspects of faith to understand. We pray for answers, we seek guidance, and we hope for change, but sometimes it feels like we're left waiting. We may grow frustrated, feeling like nothing is happening, and wonder why our prayers seem unanswered. But it's important to remember that God's timing is perfect, and even though it may feel delayed to us, it's always exactly when we need it. When God doesn't act according to our timeline, it doesn't mean He's forgotten us or doesn't care. On the contrary, it means He's working behind the scenes in ways we can't see or understand. God is not bound by our time constraints. He sees the beginning from the end and knows the exact moment when His intervention will be most powerful in our lives. While we may want immediate answers, God knows that the right timing can make all the difference in the world. God's delay is not denial. Sometimes we're waiting for something specific, a job, a relationship, a breakthrough in our health or finances. But what we don't always see is that God is preparing us for what's to come. He's shaping us, refining our character, and teaching us lessons we wouldn't learn in the midst of a rush. Just because we don't see action doesn't mean God isn't working. Sometimes He's giving us the space to grow in ways that will make the answer even more meaningful when it arrives. Waiting also teaches us to trust God's sovereignty. It's easy to rely on our own plans and desires when things are going smoothly, but when we're waiting for God's timing, we are reminded that His plan is far better than anything we could devise on our own. He knows what is best for us, even when we don't fully understand it. Trusting His timing is a testament to our faith in His wisdom and understanding, and it teaches us to rest in His care, knowing that He will never fail to deliver exactly what we need at the right moment. Remember, God's timing is not only about our benefit, it's about the greater plan He has for us and for those around us. He works in ways that often transcend our understanding, and what seems like a delay can actually be preparation for something greater. So when you find yourself waiting, don't lose hope. Trust that God's timing will unfold in perfect harmony with His plan for your life, and in the end, you will see that it was worth every moment of waiting. Life is full of setbacks, mistakes, and moments that feel like failure. It's easy to feel defeated, to think that one mistake or one failed attempt means the end of the road. But with God, no failure is final. What seems like an end is often just the beginning of something even greater. And God can take the very things we perceive as defeats and turn them into opportunities for growth, learning, and success. God is a master at turning our failures into stepping stones. In our human minds, failure often equals defeat, but with God, failure is a lesson, a moment of growth, and a setup for a greater purpose. When we experience failure, it doesn't mean God has given up on us. Rather, He's refining us. He uses these moments to shape our character, build our resilience, and teach us important lessons that will prepare us for future victories. What we see as a loss, God sees as a learning experience that moves us closer to His purpose for our lives. In fact, some of the greatest breakthroughs come out of moments of failure. Think about the people in the Bible who faced massive setbacks. David was a young shepherd before he became king. Joseph was betrayed and sold into slavery before he became a ruler in Egypt. And Peter denied Jesus 3 times but went on to lead the early church. None of them allowed their failures to define them because they trusted that God could use those moments to accomplish His will. Your failure does not define you either. It is part of the process of becoming who God has called you to be. God never abandons us in our failures. He is right there walking with us, teaching us and helping us rise up again. The key is not to let failure stop us, but to trust that God will use it for good. When you fall, God doesn't turn his back on you. He picks you up, dusts you off, and gives you the strength to try again. With God, failure is never the end. It's simply a redirection, a chance to learn, grow, and start again with even greater purpose. When you face setbacks, remind yourself that God is not finished with you. You are never too far gone for his grace. His ability to transform your life and turn failure into triumph is beyond our understanding. Embrace the challenges, learn from your mistakes, and trust that God will lead you to victory no matter how many times you fall. With him, every failure is a step towards a greater future. As we come to the end of this journey together, I want you to hold on to one powerful truth: God will never fail you. Through every trial, every moment of doubt, and every setback, he is there, guiding you, strengthening you, and preparing you for something greater. His love never wavers, his presence never leaves, and his timing is always perfect. When life seems uncertain, trust that God's plan is unfolding in ways you may not see right now, but will become clear in time. Every moment of hardship is shaping you, building your faith, and moving you closer to your divine purpose. Remember, God's strength is made perfect in your weakness, and he is always with you, even in the moments of silence. Your failures are not final. They are simply lessons leading you to success. His timing may not always align with your own, but rest assured that he knows what is best for you, and in the end, his way will always be the right way. So when you face challenges, don't lose hope. Keep trusting, keep believing, and know that he will never fail you. Thank you for joining me today on this journey of faith and reflection. I hope these words have inspired you, reminded you of God's unwavering presence, and encouraged you to keep pressing forward no matter what obstacles come your way. May you feel his strength, his peace, and his love in every area of your life. Thank you for being here, and may you continue to walk in the assurance that God will never fail you. Stay strong, stay faithful, and may God bless you abundantly.